Those who landed on Guadalcanal, Battle of Solomons. First, July 7th, 1942. Loss of the airfield and the annihilation of the Ichiki detachment. Occupation of the airfield on July 7th, 1942. The airfield on Guadalcanal, which the Japanese Navy had just completed as a frontline air base, was occupied by superior U.S. Marine forces. The Ichiki detachment's tragedy. In response to this emergency, the Ichiki detachment, approximately 900 men from the 28th Infantry Regiment, was sent to retake the airfield. However, they were annihilated by the overwhelming U.S. forces. The commander, Colonel Kiyonao Ichiki, committed suicide after burning the regimental colors. Mobilization of the 124th. Following the shock of the Ichiki detachment's destruction, the Kawaguchi detachment, centered around the 124th Infantry Regiment, was ordered to retake Guadalcanal. They departed Palau on August 16th. Second, August 28, 1942. Naval air combat and sinking of the destroyer Asagiri. As the regiment's advance party moved toward Guadalcanal on destroyers, they faced intense air attacks even before reaching the shore. The Shirakumo in peril. On August 28, 4 destroyers, Amagiri, Asagiri, Yugiri, and Shirakumo, carrying the advance party, were ambushed by U.S. aircraft. Inside the Shirakumo, the heat was like a steam bath due to the crowded conditions. A bomb hit the ship, causing it to vibrate violently as the engine stopped, leaving it dead in the water. The explosion of the Asagiri. Directly to the front right of the Shirakumo, the destroyer Asagiri was hit by a direct bomb. The blast triggered a chain reaction of torpedoes and ammunition, creating a massive pillar of fire and seawater, accompanied by a deafening roar. The ship sank rapidly and the 7th Company on board was wiped out. The tragedy of friendly fire. During the chaotic anti-aircraft battle, soldiers on the deck desperately fired their rifles and machine guns at approaching planes, only to realize with horror that they had been shooting at a friendly Japanese aircraft marked with the Hinomaru. Third, August 31st, 1942, landing at Taibu Point and the friendly fire incident. Landing at the point. On August 31st, the main force of the Kawaguchi detachment, including the 1st Battalion, successfully landed at Taibu Point on the eastern side of the island. The mistaken attack. In a state of extreme tension, Japanese snipers on the shore mistook the late arriving boats of the 3rd Battalion for enemy forces and opened fire. A voice from the sea screamed, "Are you shooting your own allies?" By the time the shooting stopped, the unit had suffered 2 dead and 8 severely wounded from this tragic instance of friendly fire. 4th, September 1st to 5th, 1942. The barge maneuver unit and the combat at Marubobo. Colonel Akinosuke Oka led approximately 1,000 men on small barges Daihatsu to bypass U.S. naval superiority, but they too were targeted from the air. The September 4 ambush. While moving between islands, the barge fleet was attacked by U.S. bombers, leaving more than 1/3 of the vessels inoperable. September 5th, the desperate battle at Marubobo. Defense without ammunition. The Moriguchi Company, 60 men, was subjected to waves of attacks by 16 U.S. planes near Marubobo. Without machine gun ammunition, the men responded to Captain Moriguchi's roar by fighting back with only rifles and pistols. miraculous skill and carnage. Through their desperate fire, they managed a miraculous feat by shooting down 2 US planes. However, the inside of the barge became a scene of carnage, filled with blood, heavy oil, and seawater. The survivors fought while submerged up to their chests in this mixture. The death of Major Takamatsu. The 2nd Battalion Commander, Major Takamatsu, was standing tall on the barge to command when a bullet pierced his helmet, killing him instantly. Sergeant Major Shibato, who was by his side, cut off his little finger, placed it in his breast pocket, and cremated it that night in the jungle as his remains. The aftermath of the original barge unit, only about 450 men successfully landed at Malbobo, wounded and covered in blood and oil. They entered the jungle to begin a 100-kilometer trek toward the main forces assembly point.